How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Sandy here. So yes, I do believe I stated in the past I'll be taking a look at some more terrible Souls game takes, and well, I ended up coming across a video that goes by the name of why games like Remnant 2 and Dark Souls 3 suck. And yeah, it's a pretty shit video, let's put it this way. And spoiler alert, a lot of this take is mainly just, wow, I have a skill issue and I don't want to admit that, so I'm just gonna blame the game and call it artificially difficult because I don't know what the I'm actually doing, which is pretty much 99% of like any Souls game take, let's be honest here. But yeah, speaking of terrible Dark Souls game takes, go ahead and take a look at one of Game Penguin's newest videos I feature in there, and it is of course a nice, more comprehensive part of that one stream segment where we were taking a look at that video, which was like 3 reasons why I quit playing like Elden Ring or something like that. It's a pretty good one, I recommend that you take a look at it. But without any further ado, let us sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's just dive right in.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am the much debated Hippo.
Okay, we are only 5 seconds in and I already have a lot to say. How are you much debated when your channel only has like fucking 72 subs? Like, my brother in Christ. I won't exactly call you much debated. Like, listen, there's only one of 2 reasons why he's decided to call himself much debated. Either A, this man has a lot more lore than I am fucking aware of, or B, he already has that YouTuber ego on him.
And I'm back at it with another video. It's been a while since I did this, but if you guys know me, you know from the past that I really hate Dark Souls 3.
Wow, we are already starting off here very strong here. Definitely no bias here in terms of Souls game preferences or anything along those lines. I hate Dark Souls 3. I really wonder. Maybe I should take a look at his backlog of videos and take a look at his Dark Souls 3 take and see why he hates it so much.
And if you've been following this channel at all, you know that I've been playing the game on screen, which is Remnant 2. And I said I liked Remnant 2. I'm going to rephrase that. I like Remnant 2 on Survivor difficulty. Maybe better. But any harder than that is just fucking idiotic.
Oh boy. Well, this is already starting off strong here. Apparently it is, quote, fucking idiotic for you to apparently be playing a game on higher difficulties. I mean, hey, at least he's the opposite of the Ultra Kill community who calls people fucking morons if they decide to play on lenient difficulty, but hey, at least I can give him credit where credit is due on that one. But I'm immediately gonna shut him down here and say that that's just as fucking stupid. Like, what is wrong with playing on higher difficulties? What's wrong with giving yourself a little bit of an extra challenge? What makes you such a fucking moron for playing on higher difficulties or bothering to give yourself a fucking challenge?
And I finally figured out why I don't like games like Dark Souls and Remnant 2 and any other game like this that makes things artificially hard. And what I mean by when I say artificially hard is they literally make your enemies bullet sponges and OP, so you have to go out of your way and fight them. They don't make the mechanics harder, the moves to dodge isn't harder to dodge or anything like that. It's literally just pattern recognition and eventually you win.
Well, there's a lot of contradictory statements right here. So he starts this off by stating, oh, it just makes your enemies like bullet sponges and makes them like hit like fucking trucks, and then immediately changes it to, oh, it's only just pattern recognition. Like, which fucking one is it? Because, let's put it this way, only one of these is actually correct. Like, if you've ever played any Souls game, I don't think there's any bosses that are like fucking bullet sponges that take so many goddamn hits and then they like one-tap you or anything along those lines. I mean, hell, in Elden Ring, there's quite a few bosses that have some pretty small fucking health bars that go down pretty easily.
But you have to fail multiple times. And I realized why I don't like games like this. And it's simply because I don't like wasting my time. I never have, and I never will. And now, you can argue, well, playing video games itself is wasting time, and you'd be right. But the level of time waste, it varies, and there's different levels to this shit. For instance, if I'm just playing a game and I'm enjoying myself, I don't consider that a waste of time. I consider that time well spent to entertain myself, where otherwise I would have been bored. However, when I'm repeating shit constantly, when I'm just repeating the same part over and over and over again to recognize the pattern just so I can dodge the pattern, that's just a waste of my fucking time.
So, wait, it doesn't make sense for you to kind of go through a bit of trial and error to figure out different attack patterns and how to dodge them, but it makes sense to repeat in other aspects? This just doesn't make any fucking sense, man. It just seems like you're trying to jump through so many goddamn hoops that I wouldn't be surprised if you're an Olympic gymnast in terms of mental fucking gymnastics here.
I don't want to have to die to something 6 to 10 times to recognize their attack pattern so I can beat it. And everybody's like, well, it's skill, get good and whatnot. No, the fuck it's not skill.
Actually, yes, it literally is. And no amount of you stating, no it's not, is going to change that fact.
It's pattern recognition, and pattern recognition is not a very hard skill to master or do.
So wait, if pattern recognition isn't a difficult skill to do, then you honestly shouldn't have a problem with games like Dark Souls 3 and Remnant 2. You shouldn't have a problem with the Souls games if it's not that difficult of a skill. Oh wait! It's only a difficult skill when it's a game that you hate, that you just want to hate for whatever fucking reason. Ah, I see. We have double standards here.
Like, with enough time, anyone can recognize a pattern and adjust to it. It's just facts. So you could be the worst fucking player in the world, and you could overcome any fight in any of these games.
Yeah, that's quite the oxymoronic statement, because I do believe they have to have some decent level of skill when it comes to pattern recognition, in this case, in order to actually surpass a fucking Dark Souls boss. Because, let's put it this way, you start off as kind of mediocre, but as you continue to try and figure out how things function, then you become a better player. Wow, who would have fucking thought? It's called developing a skill and learning from your mistakes. And also, let's put it this way, with him stating that apparently the worst fucking player could apparently beat any of these bosses, I mean, he seems to be living proof against that statement.
So I don't want to hear about, oh, it takes skill. No, the fuck it doesn't. It just takes enough time and patience for you to recognize the pattern and overcome the pattern.
Huh? So it takes skill. Again, no amount of making it as many words as possible is going to change the fact that pattern recognition is a skill that you apparently refuse to learn because you just want to hate a game.
And that's the reality of why I don't like these games, because I love pattern recognition, I do. But I don't love pattern recognition and doing it over and over again if there's no reward, or if there's not a significant accomplishment on the other end of it.
Well, of course, allow me to quickly enlighten you on that one. When it comes to Souls bosses, you do get a pretty decent reward, whether it comes in the form of runes or souls or whatever in the fuck the currency is in the other Souls games, or of course in the form of weaponry that you could potentially get from those bosses. Hell, even the sense of accomplishment in and of itself is enough of a reward in some cases, but of course, you don't seem to really agree with literally any of that for whatever reason. Largely because you probably just want to come up with as many, ways in order to try and jump through hoops in order to try and explain why, for some reason, Dark Souls is bad, but a game that is similar to Dark Souls in the form of Remnant 2 is apparently better.
And for me, this is just a video game. Alright? I don't give a shit whether or not someone thinks that I'm good or not in the fucking video game. Me being good and overcoming the video game doesn't give me, or doesn't translate to any real-world skills. At least it never has for me, so I don't see any benefit to it.
Well, I mean, it can translate to some pretty decent real-world skills. I mean, hand-eye coordination can definitely help whenever it comes to, certain menial tasks and shit like that. But honestly, that's something for more professional scientists other than myself to really try and delve into and to really look up for themselves. But, again, I just don't understand what this immense double standard is here. You're just you're just seeming to jump through hoops in order to try and justify that you you're trying to claim that you do not care here, when in reality it's very obvious that you do care that people tell you it's a skill issue.
Maybe if the audience watched me struggle and eventually overcame, and then there was a viewership because of that or something like that, then it might be worth doing. But there's no reason for me to want to repeat a process or a part in a video game in the current state for me to find it enjoyable.
Well, I guess that kind of tells me where your head is at. Apparently you're only willing to actually try and overcome a challenge whenever it actually gives you some sort of, popularity incentive for whatever reason. I mean, you can still get some popularity off of beating some of the harder bosses in Dark Souls, but of course you don't really want to do that because you want to hate a game like Dark Souls.
Now, if you like these games, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you. There's anything wrong with that. But I am going to say that you're not fucking skilled at video games because you could beat games like Dark Souls 3 or Remnant 2 on fucking Nightmare or whatever the hell the Apocalypse or whatever the hardest difficulty is.
Well, I beg to differ, but that's largely because I actually understand what skill is and I don't have a skill issue. Or at least if I do, I'm willing to admit as much. I think we're going to be skipping over this segment right here because it's mainly talking about a specific boss in Remnant 2, and since I don't have any experience in it, I don't really feel qualified enough to really give much of an opinion. Just know that it's a whole bunch of him just trying to justify the fact that he clearly does not have a skill issue and it's clearly a problem with the boss. Definitely. 100% wink wink nudge nudge.
Now again, someone could argue, well, if you had enough skill you would beat it. No, that's false. If I took enough time I would beat it. Anyone would beat it.
Well, that line right there just lets me know that, once again, You're just unwilling to admit that you do have a skill issue, because here's the thing, it takes practice to learn a skill, regardless of what kind of skill it actually is. Hell, I don't even need to know what the fuck he's talking about for me to realize that that entire line right there just pretty much says everything that you need to know.
And most people do take enough time and beat it. Now, the only thing I would argue is if you had skill and beat this on the first fucking try, that's skill. If you beat this without ever recognizing his pattern, without dying the first fucking time, that is skillful. But if you've played it multiple times and then beat it, that doesn't take skill. It just takes pattern recognition.
In which pattern recognition is a skill. I think we're just going to round it off here because I have a feeling that he's probably going to repeat his points even more than Tarragon does. So I think we're just going to end it off here. But yeah, in conclusion, apparently Remnant 2 and Dark Souls 3 suck because apparently it requires a skill that he is unwilling to learn because he sucks at learning skills. But yeah, anyways guys, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, that's very well appreciated. Leave a comment down below what you thought about the video, what you want me to talk about next, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more content such as this. Also go ahead and follow me on Twitter, and go ahead and join the Discord server down below if you feel like doing so. And yeah, anyways guys, it's been Sandy, and have yourselves a nice day.